What's good, everybody? Today we're about to react to how Russell Westbrook and Jokic figured it out for the Nuggets. I ain't been tapped in with the NBA for too much, so you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to figure out what's been going on, you feel me? I have some thoughts at the end of the video I'll share about the Nuggets and Jokic and stuff. All right, let's go.
Admit that I didn't think this was going to work at all. When the Nuggets signed Russell Westbrook as a free agent in the offseason, the best thing I could say about the deal was that it was a great bargain for the team. Asking a player who was used to dominating the ball to exist on a team that focuses on supreme ball and player movement seemed a bridge too far. After all, Russ had never been a guy who cut without the ball.
Right.
And this Nuggets team had a clear pecking order where he'd have to plug in as the third or even fourth ball handler at times. But everything seemed to change once they put him in the starting lineup 15 games ago.
Okay, oh shit, I didn't know that. Okay, so Nuggets record last 15 games, they are 11-4. Damn, and this is recorded on January 27th. Well, I think it's the 28th now. It's about midnight, so. But yeah, man. Damn. Okay, Nuggets is getting back, baby. I want to see the Nuggets back in the playoffs, dog. I want to see the Nuggets back in the motherfucking finals. That's what I want to see.
Started together, the Nuggets have won 9 of those games. And you can see a clear
I like that. Bro, that should look weird. Westbrook to Murray, like you would never expect that to happen. Not only because they've always been on different teams, but because they're both point guards. That's a weird ass. That is an interesting ass lineup. Westbrook, Murray, Christian Brown, MPJ, and I think that's Jokic back there. Damn.
Where Russ and Jokic started together, the Nuggets have won 9 of those games. And you can see a clear uptick in Westbrook's numbers when playing alongside the top 4. The schedule has certainly been favorable, as they haven't beaten
I like Westbrook, man. I love Westbrook, bro.
But we can't overlook how
I like Westbrook, bro. I like Westbrook because he gives that passion. Westbrook knows how to just like Westbrook. He gets emotionally invested, and that's what I like about him. Guys like him, Beverly, Draymond, Dylan, like you need guys like that. You need guys that really just care. You know what I'm saying? Draymond, you know, he has his problems, you know what I'm saying? But you need guys that can really just like Westbrook, he plays with such a passion, such a fire that really is infectious. Like when you're watching him, you can tell. Like and then like people be forgetting like he can pass too, man.
But we can't overlook how
I was very pissed when he was traded to the Lakers because I knew immediately that shit wasn't gonna work. I knew immediately that shit wasn't gonna work. You know what I'm saying? He should have. Even him being in Washington was interesting. It was weird anyway, but he one of them guys, man. At first, I used to think that he was one of those guys that you had to, like. I always thought that he'd have to be on like the Jazz or some shit, riding away. You know what I'm saying? Because he can't play with any other stars. You feel me? Not as the primary option for scoring. When he's like this, not as a primary option, then yes. Because, but I'll tell you one thing though, like in basketball, when you have a generational superstar like Jokic, and you can really play with anybody. You can damn near put anybody out there. That's why they've been playing guys like Christian Brown, Peyton Watson and shit. That long hair, light skinned guy, Julian Strother or whatever the hell his name is. Like you can put whoever out there when you have a player like Jokic. And so that's why I believe Westbrook is benefiting from this. But when you have a player with that kind of gravity, then that just elevates everybody else. It just makes him it makes his how do I say his strengths. It maximizes his strengths and it diminishes his weaknesses. And that's what happens with KD and Curry, for example, on the Warriors, because Curry had so much gravity that anything that KD did was extra. You know what I'm saying? Like when Westbrook, it's different when you're counted on versus what you're doing is extra. So playing with a superstar like Jokic or like Curry, who are very unselfish, that's going to help anybody. And I really like this fit. I really like this fit. I would love if the Nuggets could get back to the championship, bro. Because I think that's what the NBA is. I think that's what the NBA is missing right now. To me, the NBA is kind of mundane. It's kind of boring. Like these teams, they're not very good to me. It seems like every team is mediocre to decent. The only like actually good teams are Boston, Thunder, and Cavs, to me, in my opinion. Like, the only teams that have top to bottom good NBA rotational players. You know what I'm saying? And Dallas. I'll put Dallas in that category, but they've been injured and shit. I don't know about that. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, because of that, it leads, and the point is that none of those teams that are at the top, Thunder, Cavs, whatever, none of them have the top players in the league. Shea is good, but he's not the top. He's not a top 5 player in the league. He's not a top 3 player in the league. Stop it. He's not. Maybe top 10. I'll give him that. But you got the top players in the league: Jokic, Giannis, Luka, and Embiid. Probably. I think those are the best, like, talent. You can say what you want about Embiid, but at least those three: Jokic, Giannis, Luka. Those are the top 3 players in the league. And the fact that none of them are in the top seed in their conference is what annoys me about today's NBA. We don't have the best players on the best teams. The Sixers are in the motherfucking 11th place right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? That's a whole other story that I need to get into. But I'll say that for another day. But my point is that Jokic, I think the Nuggets are starting to play better. I think they're in like the third, fourth seed right now. And then we got the Bucks. The Bucks are in like the 4th seed as well, over out east. I don't know what's wrong with them. I haven't been paying attention to them. But they be playing guys like Andre Jackson and shit. You know what I'm saying? That's not going to win you a championship. Come on, dog. They just don't have a good roster outside of Giannis and Dame, unfortunately. And then, who was the other guy? Luka. The Mavericks. Yeah, I think Luka's been injured, and so he hasn't been playing. I think that's what's happening. They've been losing games and shit. And, you know, that's you know, that sucks in and of itself, but my point is that I think that we need the best players on the best teams in order to keep the NBA's, you know, their viewership and its interest at its peak. You know what I'm saying? When, like, Jason Tatum is cool. He's not a top 3, top 5 player in the league. You know what I'm saying? And the Celtics are good. So, you know, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? People like to see, you know, great cohesive teams and shit. But really what the NBA thrives off of is narratives and superstars. You know what I'm saying? And so if you can combine those two, like having a superstar that's on a dynastic team, like Steph Curry on the Warriors, that's when the NBA was at its peak. Everybody loves that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's beautiful. Shit, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man.
He'd barely do it 1% of the time. So you can imagine my surprise to see him up that number to 9.3% of his possessions used.
Okay, he cut into the rim. I like that.
The offense
Jokic is such an underrated passer, bro. Well, maybe not underrated. Maybe not underrated, but he's just an excellent passer. I would say that.
Of their big man with a guard who is
he's probably not underrated.
No less than 3 different seasons.
Like, what the fuck is that? Like, just like, he just be making every damn thing. That shit is like kind of annoying, low key. But
Jokic for a lot of easy buckets. If we go back to his
Jokic got a little sauce to his game too. Jokic got a little,
we can see,
you know what I'm saying? Jokic got a little sauce.
Now with his ability to move without the ball, he became the guy the defense would ignore to double Harden, and he seemed to struggle with timing, angles, and finishing these plays.
Damn.
Or he would just stand back in the corner while his man could turn towards Harden and force the turnover, and it was because of his lack of gravity that the next few teams he played on had to limit him to around 20 minutes a game. But
Damn.
He's now cutting 9 times more often than in his prime. And while he's not incredibly efficient at these, he's making enough of them to cause some real problems for the defense. One way Nuggets head coach Michael Malone made it.
Why is that though? I think it's because Jokic runs plays. James Harden doesn't run plays. James Harden is an isolation player. You feel me? So there's not much cutting you can do on an ISO. But if it's a moving offense, then everybody can cut. There's a lot of cutting going on. That's interesting. I never really made that comparison. I never thought about that. That's why I like this channel, man. I love this channel. I forgot, what was his name? Coach Rock, I think? Something like that. I forgot his name. Sorry. But Coach Greg or something. I forgot his name.
The Mavericks adjusted by putting a bigger player on Russ with hopes that the switch wouldn't pose such a huge mismatch. PJ Washington offers some resistance, but Lively's job is to protect the rim, and he can't resist leaving Russ to contest the jump hook. When Dinwiddie doesn't come down to help the head, it's a nice pass for a lefty layup.
He completely just backed his ass down until he's under the rim.
They'll have him shoot Jokic at the elbow, which caused mass confusion.
I said, fuck that. Oh, I thought you were about to shoot it.
Game where Jokic gets to cut to the hoop, receive the nice pass, and finish before Wemby can react. Anybody playing alongside Jokic,
that's so hard, bro. That is so hard. I like that shit. You got two great ass passers on the same team. That shit is tough. That shit is tough.
To go down low and post.
Like, that's beautiful right there. Like, and Westbrook can make a pass too.
Pass the ball with the same kind of vision you can have.
That shit is tough, dog. I can't even lie. This dude got a sponsor and shit. Hold up. I don't want to see this shit.
Lineup. It's hard to believe Russ ever hits the under on his points, considering teams incessantly double Jokic off.
Right, man.
I suppose the scouting report is that Russ doesn't finish that well around the basket and can make mistakes, but
I love that shit, man. It's just so simple basketball, man. It don't gotta be too obvious. I mean, it don't gotta be too complicated. Just hoop. Like, look at that shit, man.
And the shot will be point blank every time. And yet,
I hope they can do well, man. I really do. I like that shit, bro. I fuck with this. I fuck with this tandem, bro. This shit is tough.
Back in November. Clearly, this was Mark Daniels' defensive strategy, and I'm all for
that was kind of a whack Euro.
But you also need to adjust when things aren't working. Maybe Dort was freelancing on these, but it cost them dearly as they gave up a lot of points on this action, all of which proved crucial considering the Nuggets were able to pull this game out in a 2-point win. The triangle offense is alive and well in Denver, where they use pinch post.
I just kind of wanted to.
Jokic sets up at the elbow, Russ feeds him, then follows his pass to the outside, looking for either the handoff here or he can keep going and receive the pass for a layup. Their chemistry continues to get better and better as Russ gets the handoff, encounters help and finds Jokic, who turns down a mid-range shot in favor of an even better shot back to Russ. What makes this action hard to guard is that Russ can read the defense and cut to the inside if that's what's open, using his speed and explosiveness to get open for the nice dish from Jokic. And it's a play they can flow into at any time, especially as the shot clock winds down.
That shit is beautiful,
you can imagine Jokic being able to generate a good shot from this position, even if he can't find Russ on the nice cut to the hoop. Speaking of the triangle, the third option is called blind pig, and I caught a juicy one against the Nets. If Russ is denied the pass out top, Jokic shapes up underneath him for the pass, and that triggers the backdoor cut and a gorgeous fake pass lefty finish for Westbrook.
Look at this nigga. He thought he was about to get a steal. And
that triggers the back.
His ass thought he was about to get a pick. Look at it. That was a good ass little fake right there. His ass thought. Look at his ass got juked the fuck out. Look at that shit. Look at that shit. That nigga thought he had a. That nigga thought he had a breakaway duck. Damn.
The backdoor cut and a gorgeous finish for Westbrook.
That shit is embarrassing.
I also like the split cuts they run with Jokic in the high post, where Russ can either set or fake a screen for the guard on top before backdooring. The setting of his screen causes his man to relax.
I think Jokic could low-key carry his team to a championship.
It's a real
I think they still got enough low-key. If they really played at their best every time, which they're capable of doing, I think they low-key could. Given some favorable matchups in the playoffs, I think they could low-key
and Jokic knows where to be.
Be carried by Jokic.
He needs to cut even with his back completely to the play. As Russ gets up in the air, just as Jokic begins his cut from 23 feet out.
Beautiful.
Gets the ball there and
absolutely beautiful.
The slightest glance from Jokic can signal to Russ that he's going to cut, catching the entire Nets team asleep at the wheel on this gorgeous pass.
I just love the connection because I just need to look at him and I think he exactly knows what I'm thinking. So he just waited. I'm kind of a little bit slower, so he just waits me to get to the spot. And it was on the right time.
Here's an example.
That's fucking hard, bro. Jokic. I remember when I was in. This is a couple years ago, back when 2K22 still had online servers. I had my player, and I was on the Orlando Magic. and I was a shooting guard, and I was like a playmaking type of shooting guard, and I went to the Nuggets on purpose. And when I tell you that shit is unstoppable, like when you have someone like Jokic, he's just a big ass nigga. They can just fucking set picks. He gets every fucking rebound. It's such a luxury to play with a nigga like that. I know it was 2K, but like I just feel like Westbrook is feeling that. You just got a big ass nigga setting screens, grabbing all the rebounds. He makes beautiful passes. He always finishes. Every time you pass it to him, if he's anywhere near the rim, he gonna finish that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit just makes your life so much easier, bro. When you got a nigga like that on your team, man. Like, this, like, come on, bro.
Or they could run Jokic off a quick back screen at the elbow, allowing Russ to focus on how the play develops and throwing another 50-foot strike over the defense for the nice finish. Russ is also willing to take risks most other players are not, like coming off this handoff and avoiding the normal bounce pass to fire a chest pass through the narrowest of windows, somehow not getting deflected and leading directly to the rim. Jokic dunk.
Yeah.
As the shot clock winds down, you can almost see Russ.
And he averaged 10 assists per game now, a few times now. He can still play make. He's not just ass. He's not an ass basketball player.
And easily lays it in. The difference in this Nuggets team over the past 15
I feel like the Clippers are just fucking sorry. They're just a sorry ass franchise, man.
Their offensive rating and winning percentage. It's even possible
they're just a sorry ass franchise.
Bringing Aaron Gordon off the bench so they can get some scoring punch in the non-Jokic.
It doesn't really make much sense. How can a nigga play ass on your team and then immediately play amazing once he gets on another team? That just says a lot about the way you run your organization and how you put your players in positions to win.
He has found a nice rhythm,
or lack thereof, or not doing that. You know what I'm saying?
He started out the season closer to 30%, so I wonder how sustainable an above-average percentage will be. All those cuts out of their offense are necessary to combat his lack of gravity. And like I said, it's great to see him adjust his game so dramatically to punish the defense. But his efficiency on cuts is average, and he's always had some finishing on the rim, even in his prime. So this could be cause for concern as the pressure mounts against better teams, which usually means better rim protection.
That's true.
If we zoom out on all his offensive possessions, we see that he's ranking among the 100 players in the NBA who have used at least 500 possessions. Is 94th.
Damn, Westbrook.
A lot of misses from all around the court, and I just don't know if the Nuggets could compete deep into the playoffs relying on a starter so woefully inefficient.
Damn.
Even more concerning to me is his turnover percentage. He struggled with this his whole career, and currently is tied for
Damn, Westbrook, I was just giving you credit.
They mostly when he gets going too fast and can't process what the defense is doing quickly enough, or gets into too tight a space with no angst and can't process.
That shit was too easy. That shit was too easy. Like, it didn't even look like he didn't even go out of his way to steal that. Like, it was just right to him. It's like he knew that was gonna happen. Like, he wasn't even, his arms weren't even up. The opponent's arms were up.
They mostly deal with his pass.
That's hilarious.
Going too fast and can't.
Holy shit!
The defense is doing quickly enough, or gets into too tight a space with no angle or ability to get the ball through. It's a little surprising to me that he hasn't improved a ton in this area over the course of a very long and distinguished career.
Right.
And they're certainly overcoming these types of strange decisions and off-target passes. But again,
Westbrook's been looking funny as hell when he like make mistakes.
The NBA. If you do this too often against good teams, they'll make you pay in the loss column. And I'm hopeful that Malone and Jokic can help mitigate these plays, minimizing them enough so that their cutting brilliance can shine through and win a playoff series. The best part of all this is the vibes, as these two have found each other and have raised their individual talents to a different level.
You guys look like you've been playing together your entire careers.
Man, he's the best player in the world. My job is to make the game easy for him, and he does it for everybody else. And it's a pleasure to be able to share the floor with him.
I think people and teams that he was past missed him.
What the heck?
And didn't give him the opportunity.
That's kind of weird.
And that might.
But yeah, man. Basically, my point basically my point earlier in the video. Sorry. Yeah, man. So basically, my point, earlier in the video was that I just think that the problem with the NBA is that the best players are not on the best teams. And I don't really know what to do to fix that. I think there's injuries are obviously injuries are obviously a lot of injuries are obviously a big part of that. You know what I'm saying? Injuries and but also bad roster construction. These niggas don't know how to put together a motherfucking team. That's really the problem. They don't know how to trade players. Most of these teams, they get too desperate and they just trade everybody for everything. They just trade a bunch of shit for a couple guys. Or they make a lot of dumbass trades. They always making trades to shed salary and shit. You know what I'm saying? Shed salary and shit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm tired, bro. It's 1 a.m. But yeah, man. I'm gonna go to sleep. I hope you guys enjoy it. I will see you next time. Peace.